Hi Aquarius, sorry why I moved the camera. Really sorry guys, it's not got a great angle. There you go, a bit better. So let's see what's going on for you Aquarius for the week ahead. So we'll go from Monday to Monday. I think it's the 9th to the 16th, okay? Let's pull an additional guidance card. So you've got the tribe card. This is a very Aquarius card because Aquarius rules community. It rules groups of people, families, friends, the collective, that sort of thing. So obviously there's some sort of message about working within families, within groups. I'm not quite sure what it means. But when I pull it, it tends to mean me relating with other people. It's that sort of energy. So I'm going to pull 6 cards that tell me what this tribe card actually refers to. So there'll be 6 cards. We'll do additional guidance as we need to. And that's the rest of it. Oh, and below there'll be a link to your Vimeo readings for love and relationships for the month of September. Okay. So clear-cut messages for Aquarius, please, for the week ahead. Okay, so you've got the lovers behind you. The gift is the Ace of Wands. Beautiful. One of my favourite cards. The challenge is the 9 of Pentacles. The 7 of Swords is showing up as other people's energy. That's quite an interesting card. The Ace of Wands is underneath the 10 of Wands. So this is about completing a cycle and beginning a new one. Some of yous are obviously, the 10 of Wands is the ending of an oppressive cycle. And the gift is this beautiful birth of a brand new one. How exciting is that? Okay, and don't worry, we get the 5 of Swords as the outcome. What's the 5 of Swords about, please? The 6 of Pentacles. And what's another clarifying card with the Wheel of Fortune? What an interesting combination of cards. 2 10s closing up. 10s represent closing cycles. You've got 2 of them. The aces are always about the birthing of something brand new. So behind you is the Lovers card. The Lovers card is obviously a card of relationships, but it's also a card about choices. That's what it was originally called. So for some of you, you might be facing a choice, a decision on the road. The trick with the Lovers card is always to follow the energy of your heart. The Fool does this as part of his journey, and as he follows the energy of his heart, he automatically becomes enlightened because he's not following all the coulds and shoulds of society, but he's following what he truly desires, which is very interesting because the gift is the energy of desire. Now, that desire can be for love, it can be for creativity, birthing new potentials, but it has to be Aquarius. One of my favourite gifts is Ace of Wands, because you're going to be feeling very alive and very passionate and very fiery. Now, interesting challenge, because the 9 of Pentacles is the minor cana version of the Hermit. So it's a card about being solitary. And I wonder if it's because of this 7 of Swords. This is other people's energy, the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords can be quite a shadowy card. It's a card of unclear communication. And because the 10 of Wands is walking into the 7 of Swords, this might be, for some Aquarius, this is relationship dynamics. And really what's happening is there's a closing cycle going on here. So why are other people the 7 of Swords for Aquarius, please? It's with the Knight of Cups. The 7 of Swords is a very interesting card. So look at the image here. This is a figure who's on their way to their future, but they're still looking back over their shoulder. So for some Aquarius, there might be some relationship dynamics. Some of you might be in that position that you aren't very attracted to someone who's not completed a cycle yet, okay? This could be your energy, it could be the other person's. The Knight of Cups as a clarifier is a card that goes forward, expresses your emotions, but there's a very unsure energy in your relationships. Can I carry on and I'll try and clarify that? So the Ten of Wands is the ending of a cycle, and I cannot help see the fact this Ten of Wands is looking right into the Seven of Swords. For some Aquarius, this is a clear ending of maybe some relationship dynamics where things have not been totally spoken about. The Seven of Swords is a little bit of a shadow card, okay? So when I say a shadow card, everything's not out in the light. There's unclear dialogue and unspoken communication. So please give me a connector card between this 10 and this 7. God, so you've got the Knight of Cups and now you've got the King of Cups. So this is an awful lot of feelings that maybe aren't being totally spoken about. The fact that you're birthing something new and at the same time you're ending something might be why the Seven of Swords is showing up here. Can I go to the end? And I think I'm going to have to get you a crowning card. So you end in the Five of Swords. Don't worry about the Five of Swords. It's not, it can be, sometimes the Five of Swords can be that winning and losing energy. It can speak about communication that hurts. But it's a card about winning, essentially, because this guy's got his leg up, see? So, but when it shows up, I always say to people, be careful what you're fighting for is worth it. Just be very, very mindful of your communication, because I want to tell you why. So I asked the card to tell me more about this Five of Swords, and we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel again is a completing cycle. So the Six of Pentacles with the Five of Swords is more cards potentially of peacemaking. The Six of Pentacles is a card of mutuality and reciprocity, about putting your cards out onto the table, because the earth signs represent authenticity and straightforward dialogue, which is obviously the way to get out of the Seven of Swords energy and the Five of Swords energy, because this is about energy that's, these cards are showing up because something's not been totally expressed here, or something's not being honestly and straightforwardly dealt with. And this is the advice, is about very, very straightforward and honest dialogue, and that's what begins to create peace, and that's how the wheel turns. The Wheel of Fortune is a goddess Fortuna. It is that sweet spot. It's about a turnaround of events. For some of you, this is definitely to do with finances, but I cannot help see this is not. This is to do with maybe relationship dynamics that it's almost there's been things that are not being said here. And that's what creates the Five of Swords, by the way, in the end. I want a crowning card for you. One crowning. It's funny because, as you know, I'm an Aquarius and this reading makes perfect sense to me. It's always about trying to get a message across to other people. Can you give me one crowning card, please, for Aquarius? So this is even more bizarre because you got the Hermit with the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is obviously the relationship energy. But the challenge is the Hermit twice. So some of you are obviously not completely with someone that you want to be with. And that's where the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords is showing up. Can't quite remember. I do remember your general reading for September. And there was definitely that theme. And I felt, oh, there was a theme of withholding. And this is now, obviously, something's beginning to change. But that 7 and that 5 and that 10 is a bit difficult. Oppressive patterns ending. That something's going to shift incredibly. I love these two cards here. Because believe it or not, especially being an Aquarius, Aquarius motto should always be the truth is my identity. Yeah, as much as possible. I'm a total human being as well, guys. I understand life's complex. But the fact that Fortuna is shining down on the Six of Pentacles makes me think, is this the way out of this shadowy energy? Because shadowy energy is literally just energy because something's not being fully brought out into the light. Something's not been fully dealt with. Wasn't really expecting this reading. You're my first reading of the week. Always do you first because obviously you're the sign that I most connect with. And you're going to laugh because I just turned the cards over and you got the truth be told card. Yeah. Totally taking the mask off as much as possible, okay? I'm not talking about throwing our energy out everywhere, but she's taken the mask off and look at her heart. And then when her heart opens, these beautiful red roses come around her. You know what, Aquarius? This is very, very powerful reading. Very exciting because something new has been birthed. The problem is when something new has been birthed is either you or someone is dealing with a closing up cycle, and that can be tense. Please look after yourself. Left hand on heart. My soul knows what it's doing, okay? For any of you that are going through this, my feeling with the general reading for Aquarius, that especially our general reading, was September was going towards some sort of resolution. Because the 7 is quite a high up card. There's only a couple more steps. And they're in the 10, which is the ending. And it's just the thinking and the fear that's keeping this going on for someone. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Blew me away completely. Lots of love, Aquarius. Bye.